Hello and welcome to the CEO Show with the CEO Magazine, the number one ranking publication in its class as ranked by Alexa. Today I'd like to welcome Vin Gupta as our guest. Vin is among the earlier Indian immigrants to have taken a company public and is a pioneer in database marketing and is a true entrepreneur. Politically active and a close friend of the Clintons, Vin is also a philanthropist who has contributed to several educational institutions, including the IIT Kharagpur Business School in India and the Law School. Both of them bear his name. However, the most fascinating lesson from Vin are three simple words that I am taking to my heart: learn, earn, and return. Let's welcome Vin to the show. Vin, we have been talking for a long time now, and I'm really glad to have you here.
When your life history is incredible in many ways. We just talked about multiple companies, serial entrepreneurship in the same space, where you find a way to improve by following certain principles. But also you followed the path of many people like Warren Buffett, who have said that if you've made wealth, you give it back. And you talk about learn, earn, and return. And your philanthropic work, especially in education, you've done so much for India in terms of establishing business schools in IIT Kharagpur, for example. Then Bill Clinton went and inaugurated your polytechnic in your hometown, Saharanpur. So you've done a lot of things. I wanted to get into the depth of where is this coming from? Where is the center of your origination of this idea? When you came to this country, we did, and like me as well, I didn't have anything much, and I've created whatever I've done on my own. So what's the process? How did you learn and grow to realize these principles in life? Can you begin from where you started?
Well, first of all, I grew up in a village, and my dad used to make like $40 a month. And we had like two-room place with no electricity, no water, no sewage, no toilets, no nothing. And the fact that I could get out of the village and then go to IIT and get my education. So that was like a big break in my life. Because getting into IIT, I knew that I would no longer be poor anymore. When I graduated from IIT, I had the good fortune of coming to Nebraska and get my 2 master's degrees and get a job, So that was like another break point in my life.
I'm sorry. This phone has done something wrong. I need to shut it down. I was recording on the phone as well, but sorry, we'll edit it out. So you said you came to Nebraska and got 2 degrees.
Right. So that was another break point in my life, And then once I left Nebraska and I got my first job, so that was like start of my career. When I started the business of compiling mailing lists from Yellow Pages, I never thought it will amount to anything. I just thought it'd be good for 2-3 years. I'll make enough money and then, make sure that I have another job. After about 5 years, I realized that, this could be quite profitable. It took me about 10 years to realize that I had hit on something big. So by 86 or 87, at that time I was 40 years old, I realized that I had stumbled into something pretty big. It had a lot of future. So till then, I never had to kind of worry about wealth or what to do with it. I didn't have any, my kids were very, very young. But once we went public and companies started growing, at that time I realized that I'm going to have substantial wealth. And what do I want to do with this? Do I want to give it to all my kids? Or do I want to, put it to use for the society? And when you go through that realization, and of course, I knew Warren Buffett at that time, and I realized what he was doing. He does not believe in giving wealth to his kids, and he has not, Basically, he wants to give it, for the betterment of society, give it to charity. So that's when I realized that, okay, let me take care of my kids, get them a good education, get them a good start, but do something with that wealth. And that's when the whole idea of setting up a business school at IIT Kharagpur, setting up a law school at IIT Kharagpur, setting up a school in my village, and that was as a result of what my mom and my dad said, that, hey, let's improve the lives of those poor people in the village, but nobody else is doing anything. And then, of course, I got to know President Clinton, and of course, he is big into that. So that kind of just propelled me into that whatever I can do with my wealth. I'm not a billionaire, and I cannot solve all the problems. And I felt that if I can just improve the lives of 100 people, 1,000 people in a village where I grew up, that's a good start. And that's what I was telling, President Clinton. I said, if every Indian who came here, if they will adopt their village, just one village, even if they invest $10,000 in that village, in their schooling or healthcare or something, it'll pay off big,
Yeah,
so,
that makes 3 million Indians. I suppose we have about 3 million Indians, and that's 3 million villages. That can make a huge difference. And every one of the Indians here, pretty much most of them have the capacity to give $10,000.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So if every Indian will adopt their home village and do something, whether it's providing water, whether it's providing education, or even like repair a road in their village, that makes a big difference.
Now, when I can, or not only I, but a lot of people can see, well, I see you feel blessed. And the process that you must have gone through takes not days, not weeks, not months, but years of introspection, growing, figuring out what you want. And so you must have felt a sense of gratitude, which is why you want to give back. But, ordinary Indians don't feel that sense of gratitude. What would you say to them? What was the process that you went through? Why you and not others?
Well, I've often thought about that, and I have some quite wealthy friends, and they don't feel the same way as I do. But I look at it this way. When we die, we die with nothing, okay? If we had a next life, we'll probably take the money into the next life, In that case, there'll be no charity, But we come here with nothing and we leave with nothing. At the same time, if you have a lot of money, you got to do something with it. And the best thing we can do is improve the society which gave us that chance, okay? So that's a way of paying back to the society which gave us that opportunity, So, and I'm sure that, everybody's different. So some people feel that way, some people don't, or some people just, they don't think about it.
Well, why not give it to your children? I don't know about your children, but any 20-year-old I know will say, yeah, give me the money.
Yeah, that's true. I think in their case, they knew early on that I'll get them an education, I'll get them a head start. But then beyond that, they got to go and strike out on their own. And otherwise, they just become spoiled, and they have a sense of entitlement. They don't realize that you have to earn that money.
Why do you know that, and why not others? You surely don't know why others don't. But what made you realize that, no, I think it's a bad idea to give the money to children? Because often people don't realize that.
Well, I've seen a lot of kids who were born into wealth, and they never realized what it takes to make money. And they kind of had the sense of entitlement, and they were kind of spoiled. And that's not a good thing. It's, I have two boys, I lost one, but, both the boys are very, they're very humble, and they're not spoiled, and they have jobs, they have education, and I'm really happy about that. So
now, look at it slightly differently. I wish and pray your children do as successfully as you have done and more. Every father wants that to be true. But, it all depends. We can't do that. We can't make it happen. So if your child or somebody's child grows up to be peaceful, happy, but not necessarily as wealthy, at some point you could question yourself and say, well, my son is doing well. He's doing just like an ordinary citizen. I wish I had given this wealth, or I should give this wealth to my son or my daughter. Would you think you might feel that way at any point, or you have reconciled with that idea and have gone through and passed
it? Well, you gave them some wealth, okay. But there's a limit to how much you can give them. And of course, everybody has different opinions about that. I don't have the total answer to it.
Right. No, I'm just trying to get into your thinking.
Yeah, but I tell you what, every time I do something somewhere, like I found out where my dad went to college, okay. He went to college in Lucknow. It's a Christian college. So we went there, and this college had not changed. So we talked to the... Pardon?
In these many years.
Yeah, right. And because they didn't have the money. So we went to the college and we said, listen, my dad went to college there in 1930s and we like to do something for you. And they were shocked and they said, who are you? Why would you want to do it? We said, well, just because my dad went to college here and we want to do something in his name. So we built an auditorium at the Lucknow Christian College, an auditorium with a student union and a cafeteria. It probably cost us about, $500,000. I tell you, students love it. And all of a sudden you realize that you have given them something. It is making a lot of students happy. We did the same thing at Lucknow University, where my dad went to university. We did the same thing there. When I go to my village and I see like 1,200 girls and boys over there, they're getting education, they're learning some new skills. Now we have a nursing school named after Hillary Clinton. It's called Hillary Clinton Nursing School. We have like a high school named after Bill Clinton. And we have changed the life of these children there. We have Muslim girls who are getting education. Normally they would not, They're coming to school and getting education. It makes you really happy. I think the pleasure of doing that and helping the society is a lot greater than giving that money to my kids, okay? Maybe I'll only make 2 people happy there, but here I'm making thousands of people happy. We set up a Hillary Clinton Women's Club in my village, okay? And we set aside a big room for them and a cafeteria, said, come anytime you want, we'll give you more education you want. These are housewives, okay?
Oh, really?
In the village. Pardon?
No. It's interesting because that's not a norm, but it's nice to know that.
Yeah. So these are the housewives. So we formed a club, Hillary Clinton Women's Club, and for these village housewives. He said, come anytime you want here. There's a place here. We'll give you any kind of education, have free tea, have free cookies, okay? We can give you continuing education, and here's a card, and we meet with them once a month. We have lunch and everything. We have now 300 women who are members of this club, and they love coming there, and their husbands love it that they come there. It's like a social club, okay? Come anytime, and once a month they have lunch, So it's just little things. It does not cost a lot of money, but it provides a lot of benefit to them.
No, I can see that. I can sense it. But, there's a difference between sensing it and saying, here's my checkbook, because percentage-wise, you don't have to spend, like you said, a whole lot of money to make a difference in one individual's life, especially because the differences in the dollar and rupee, and that becomes
right.
Sense. On the other hand, your focus in education has primarily been because your route to personal freedom and success is through education.
Yeah, education, and now we are focusing on healthcare also because healthcare is a big problem.
Right. Well,
So
true, true. And water is a big problem. There's a lot of problems to be solved in India.
right, right.
But
But you got to start somewhere. So
understandably. So from here on, you don't seem to be wanting to quit what made you successful in the first place, right? I mean, you're going on a spree of different companies. Are you still wanting to continue, or do you want to hang the hat sometime?
no. My dad he just passed away 10 days ago, and he was 96, and he was still working till then. And I just find working is fun. So we have now 5, 6 different companies, and my plan is to, keep on working. It keeps me happy, keeps me healthy, keeps me occupied. And at the same time, if we can make more money doing that and give it back to society, that's even better. That's like icing on the cake. So, people who work, they are happier. Okay. And you cannot replace that happiness by being retired. You can only play so much golf. You can only play so much tennis. You can only do so much. But that does not bring you happiness. To me, work is happiness. And I tell people, I said, work is a vacation, So you have to think of your jobs as a vacation. And every job I had in my life, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I could learn from that. I could make it better, So.
You're espousing the principles that I think of and read a lot about, and our heritage is that way, the Vedic principles. I mean, you bring out the best, what you came with, and you be the catalyst of change, while, there is no such thing as separation between work and play. What you do is what you do, and it shouldn't cause you stress or undue amount of happiness either. You just do it and express yourself, the expression of your swabhav, as you probably already know. And I've got a video on the word swabhav, by the way, because it's very important for people to know that you need to follow your true nature, which is central to some of the principles in the Vedas. So I'm really glad I'm talking with you on that one.
That's true. But to me, work is happiness, work is vacation, work is play. So.
I agree with you. I mean, I actually quit my job 10, 12 years ago, not knowing really what I wanted to do, but I wanted to plan myself such that I don't ever have to retire. I do the things that I'm good at, and something that I really like, something that is true to my nature. And eventually I will figure out a way to make money. And if you make a lot of money, that's great. If you don't, you will always make enough to survive. You can't not make decent money if you keep your head on your shoulders.
No, that's true. That's very true.
So not running after money. In fact, a lot of people that I talk with talk the same thing, entrepreneurs, that not necessarily go after opportunities. Go after things that you like, and then you will pivot through. And if you are persistent and thoughtful, don't burn all your money, then you will find a way where you can contribute to the society. If you contribute to the society, you will get back more than what you're giving, and therefore you will have a return. And if you have wealth, you can again give back the wealth, but you will not be poor, at least not in this country.
That is true. Believe me, that's true anywhere. Believe me, that's true anywhere. But I agree with you 100% there.
Right. I don't know about India. Oftentimes the system is not supportive of people, but Dhirubhai Ambani and others have demonstrated that no, that's not necessarily true.
India is a land of opportunity. When I go back, I find thousands of companies now who have been very successful. Despite the bureaucracy and despite the government red tape, there's a lot of opportunity in India now. So, but you have to be resourceful and you have to see where the opportunities are. So I think opportunities are everywhere. I don't care whether you're in Russia or India or China or America or Canada, wherever you are, there are opportunities.
Yeah, I think a lot has to do, like the Vedas says, it has all to do with how we respond to situations. Situations are what they are. It's your inherent response to it that matters.
No, that's true.
Then thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking with you, and I hope this conversation helps some people who are thinking about what to do with their money when they have a lot of money. And others also
I
who
would
are
say
not. Sorry, go ahead.
my advice to them is follow what Bill Gates did, follow what Warren Buffett did, and give it back to the society, put it to good use.
Absolutely. I think I agree with you. I hope I have that much money to give back, but even then, otherwise, there is so many ways to give back. There's a
Oh,
friend of
absolutely.
mine, by the way, I mean, there's, I will just tell you this little story. There's a friend of mine, he's a gastroenterologist, and he goes back every year and gives in kind, as not necessarily in terms of money. I mean, he probably spends money as well, but more importantly, he contributes by connecting with people and giving them healthcare. So people can do different ways.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's do what we can. It's not a question of how much money we have, but whatever we can, if we do it, it'll make a difference.
Right. And as many religions talk that way, so give back 10%. Doesn't matter how much you make, give back a certain percentage to the society.
Well, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Well, thank you so much. And I want to formally thank you for being on the show, and I'll be in touch with you soon.
Great. That's great. Anything else I can do, let me know. Thank you, Nick.